Welcome back to That Dad Guy. It's May the 4th, 2023. So happy Star Wars Day, May the 4th. Whew, there's my AT-AT or my AT-AT shirt. And yeah, we got a lot going on today to talk about. And I think I'm going to have something for everybody today. We're going to talk some stamps. I got this lovely envelope from my new friend John, who is John Collects Stamps on YouTube. His channel is growing at leaps and bounds. He's putting out great material. If you're into stamps, you should go check him out and help him continue to grow. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some postcards that I received. These are blank postcards that were given to me. We're going to talk about a trip that I just got back from Montreal and some of the things that I got there, some postcards. We're also going to talk a little bit about Lego. And we're going to talk about Star Wars because it's May the 4th. So I think there will be something for everybody in here. And you know what I'm going to start? I'm going to start with these postcards that were given to me. We're going to go this way first. So I got this one here of downtown Vancouver, a little bit older. We have this one of St. Petersburg Beach in Florida. A lobster fishing boat here in New Brunswick. Another one of St. Petersburg Beach in Florida. The Thunderdome, which was in St. Petersburg, Florida. You're starting to see a connection here. 7 Mile Bridge in Florida. This one here is Little Darling's Rock and Roll Palace, which is in Old Town in Kissimmee, Florida. And another one from the same place, the inside of the diner, the music hall, I guess. And then one last one from Florida. This is Paso Grill Beach in Florida. The white sands and aqua water are as far as the eye can see. So other than that one Vancouver one, the rest are Florida postcards that I got from my father-in-law, who got from his sister Wendy, I believe. All right, the next thing we'll get into, I'm going to show you some more postcards soon. These are postcards that I picked up on my trip, and the trip I'm talking about is Montreal. I went up to Montreal recently to go move my daughter out of her dormitory at university into her new apartment in downtown Montreal, and got a chance to meet some of her friends. So I got to meet her new roommate, Juliet. We've seen each other through FaceTime throughout the year, but my daughter and her are going to be living together downtown, so we moved them downtown. That was fantastic. Also got to see a couple of the boys that are going to be subletting the apartment, because my daughter is now home with me here this summer, so she'll be working here. But I got to meet Noah and Juan. They are going to be living in the apartment this summer. Noah's a big Star Wars fan, so happy May the 4th to you, Noah, if you're watching today. He has a really cool lightsaber. He got a chance to show that to me. Had it specially made from a place in the U.S. Big Star Wars fan. We got talked a little bit about Lego too while we were there, and met with Juan. Juan is originally from Venezuela, but now lives in Panama and is studying here. So great guys. I think they're really going to enjoy the apartment. I think they're going to treat them well, treat the place, and you know, they've been great friends this year for my daughter. And then the last person I got to meet on this particular trip anyways was Jose. Jose's from Mexico. He is a passionate person about F1 and is doing some work in aerospace engineering. Super cool. One of the things we got a chance to do while we were there is get some Lego. We got Lego keychains for the boys that are going to be subletting, also for Juliet. My daughter already has one, and we were going to find something special for Jose. We didn't have what we wanted at the time, so we were going to bring it back for the next trip. So if any of you guys happen to be watching, that's great. Hope you enjoy the keychains. We really had a great time meeting you. The last person I didn't get a chance to meet, we tried, my dad called, but he never picked up the phone, was Jack. Jack apparently watches my videos all the time, and he'd been busy studying, and then I guess he was relaxing. He didn't pick up the phone, so we didn't get a chance to meet. Perhaps next time, Jack, but thanks so much for watching. All right, what else did we do while we were there? We got to have one day of IKEA, Lego store, walked down Old Montreal and the Old Port, got something to eat there, but mostly it was moving back and forth between the university and the new dorm, or the new apartment, and so it kept us busy. I got a chance to spend some time with some friends, that's who we stayed with, so it was a whirlwind trip, but lots of fun. And now I get a chance to show you a little bit what we got. We're at Star Wars Day, May the 4th. Let's start with this. This is the Mandalorian helmet. Came out last year. It was one of the ones that I was missing from last year. You can see they have the price sticker here. I took it off and it actually damaged the box. For those of you who enjoy collecting the boxes, it's a shame when the stickers do that, but oh well, it did. So these are great series. I've built a whole bunch of them already. I still have Luke's helmet to build. So now I have the Mandalorian helmet to build. The only one I didn't get from last year yet, as a completionist, I guess I want it, but I don't really like the look of it as much, is the Dark Trooper helmet that came out last year. So we'll see. 3 new helmets came out this year, are really cool, especially the Princess Leia one, where she's a bounty hunter. So that's to get this year. There's a couple clone troopers that came out this year. Lots of great things. When you buy a certain amount of Lego, you get some free gifts along the way too. So I will show you some of those momentarily. Just put them aside for right now. The other thing we got was this one here, this little BB-8 picture frame. You can see, you can stand up. My daughter likes BB-8, so we thought this might be a nice picture frame to get, and that she could put it on her desk at school. So we can have this and she can build it later on and take it back to school with her, or she can take it back like that in September and build it there, whatever she wants to do. So we got those, and we got some free gifts as a result. But I'm gonna mix and match here, so we're gonna switch and we're gonna talk a little bit about postcards. We're in Montreal anyways. Oh, one last thing. It's not Star Wars related for May the 4th, but it is a set that I picked up while I was there. This little Vespa. I have a Fiat 500, or at least I do for a little bit longer. It's kind of given up the ghost on me, unfortunately, and I think it's going to be too expensive to repair, so I think it's destined for scrap. We've had it for 12 years, really love the car, but I think it's time to say goodbye to that one. But I had the Lego version of the Fiat 500, so I thought the little Vespa would look nice alongside of it, and it was a pretty cheap set at the Lego store. It's not something I've ever seen around here, so I picked it up. All right, I will show you those Lego free gifts later on. I'm going to mix and match, that way those of you who don't like Lego won't get bored with this part, and those of you who do like Lego will tune in to see the other things. All right, let me show you a few of the postcards that I got. I got quite a few. This one here from Montreal. I tried to get a few different scenes of things that people may enjoy. So you've got the city there, you've got the fall leaves. You have this one of Old Montreal. Looks a lot like some of the alleyways you may see in France. The old architecture in there, the stone everywhere, the cobble streets in some of the areas. We have this one. This is the Olympic Stadium, and you got some tulips there. It's very nice for this time of year. We can't think of Canada without a little snow though, so we've got a few different images in the winter time too. I was running low on some of my winter postcards, so I figure I better pick up a few because I know some people request winter postcards, so I wanted to have those. We have an Aboriginal with Aboriginal outfits and the teepee, the snowshoes. You know, sometimes I get requests for postcards like that. Some just different images of fall in Canada. Some people like animal postcards, so we have those moose postcards standing in the river. Or maybe you're more interested in polar bears and polar bear cubs, so we have that one. Maybe you like the gentler side, and we just have some squirrels. And then we have this one here, the Ferris wheel, that's down in Old Port. Another look at another section of Montreal. There's so many things to do. Montreal is great in the wintertime. There's lots of stuff to do. But in the summertime, there are festivals, there are concert sites. Yeah, the Not Owned, which is an amusement park down there that you can go to. See things lit up and taken pictures of in fast time. You want the Canadian flag? We have a new one of those. We have Chateau Frontenac in Quebec City in the wintertime. This one here, if you like flags, here's all the flags of the different provinces and territories in Canada, and you can match them up with the map of Canada and then the Canadian flag right there. Do you know which one is the New Brunswick flag where I am? This one here, I think one of the coolest flags. We have another moose one, little tartan background. Inside the Notre Dame Basilica, for those of you who like churches. Maybe smoky. Some more maple leaves. Canada's known for maple leaves. How about some polar bears in lavender? I got a few of those because I really like the image and I figured other people probably would too. And this card I've had before. I love the black and white, so I got 2 of those of Montreal in black and white. I use those for a giveaway, and who knows, maybe I will use them for another giveaway coming up. If my numbers continue to rise, there'll be other things to celebrate. All right, before I show you the last postcards that I have, which were a little bit different, and very happy to find them too, and the price was perfect. I'm gonna switch gears again. I wanna show you what John from England sent me as a surprise. You can see here King Charles III's Machen stamp on there, and his coronation is coming up very soon as the filming of this anyways. So I'm going to switch the camera around a bit and show you what he gave me. First thing that John sent were these stamps on this collector sheet of Doctor Who. He had mentioned something in one of his videos and showed a TARDIS stamp, and I just said it was really cool, you know, as a Doctor Who fan. I thought it was neat, and he took from that comment and he said, well, you know what, I have an extra one of these sheets. Why don't I send it to that dad guy, which he did. So here are the stamps. There's 5 stamps on this collector sheet. You've got an Ood, you have a Dalek, you have a Weeping Angel, and a Cyberman, and then you've got the TARDIS there in the middle. So the anniversary collector sheet. And then he sent this. John's a big collector of all the Machens, so he sent me a few to bolster my father's collection. So he'd even dated them there, so you can see there's Machens there from 1971 to 93. There is the 1993 Machens with the elliptical perforations on them. The NVIs, no value indicated stamps. He's got some of those in there. We have just a general stamp on the side. And then there, hidden in the back, is the 1990 150th anniversary of the Penny Black. Let me just pull this so you can see. That's really cool. The Penny Black, of course, is the first stamp. And it's kind of the crux of how all of our stamp collectors have gone from there. So the original stamp, yeah, it's kind of made its way for everything else. Let me just put this back in here so I don't lose that. There we go. So thank you, John, for all of that. Thank you for the content that you've been created in your time on YouTube here. I'm glad that I found you through Smokey, and I look forward to many other trades and crossovers between our channels, and hopefully things continue to grow in a rapid rate as they are for you going forward. So what a wonderful surprise to get these stamps in the mail. I was blown away. I wasn't expecting anything. You know, I was just making a comment on his channel, and he took the liberty to put them in an envelope and send something to me. So thank you, John. I really appreciate it. Here's to a new friendship going forward. All right, that is the stamp side. Let's get back to postcards real quick. I have these ones that I have to show you. Just have to show you. Okay, so I showed you this postcard. How about this postcard? I went into a shop in Old Montreal and found these postcards, good quality postcards, and they were 3 for $1. I thought about going back. I know I'm going to be back in Montreal again soon, so or later this summer when I have to take my daughter back to university. So I know I'm gonna remember that place and go back, but I did buy a few different ones there because I think these are gonna be special that people are really gonna enjoy. Some people I know just want 4x6 or 5x7 standard postcards, but people like me, I like the different ones. I like the ones that are long, that are shaped, that are maybe homemade, that are unique. You're not gonna see them everywhere. And I think that's the key, is the unique. All postcards are great to get with a nice stamp on the back, or nicely decorated. That's nice to have. Beautiful messages. Cards like this are perfect for beautiful messages because look at the amount of spaces in it. I can decorate, I can put the address, I can put, you know, 2 or 3 stamps across the top if I need to, but I still have all this room that I can write a message that's more than just talking about the weather today, or you know, happy post crossing. It's a common one. Some people want more of a connection, and people that I've been pen paling for a while with now, that is one of the things that I enjoy doing, is hearing what's going on. Yeah, I message people lots through Instagram, so I can hear that way, but it's nice to hear what's happening the day of you writing. Those of you who are interested in beaver postcards, have that one. Or maybe you're more into frog postcards. This one here, Hugs and Kisses from Montreal. So I did get 6 of those elongated ones. That only cost me $2 to get all those. That was the bargain of the trip for sure. Next time I'm going to stock up on those postcards. Even if I bought $20 worth, you know, to have 60 postcards like that, I think that's would be a good deal. I may do that my next trip back. All right, let's get back into Lego. So we talked about May the 4th, Star Wars Day. If you bought a certain amount of Lego, you got some free gifts along the way. So one of them is these poly bag of an X-Wing fighter. It's only got 87 pieces in it. It's a little small thing. It's a 40th anniversary one. You can see all the pieces, a little instruction booklet in there. These are the sort of things that, you know, if I was at a Lego store a lot and I could get more of these, I probably would build one and collect the other ones just to have it. So I'm not sure if that's something that gets built or something gets put aside because it's a 40th anniversary thing, but that's what we have. And then I got this nice little black box, and inside, which I have yet to do, it's got a little stand card, so you can, what you can do with this particular thing, but I'm gonna take it out. So we have this, and then inside you have this medallion of the Death Star. On the back it's imprinted with Lego and Star Wars. It's relatively heavy for what it is, so you can keep it in the box like this. You can put the blue cover that I showed you a minute ago that's see-through in it, and it can be propped up and on display. You can take it off and display it like that, or take it right out. But I thought, what a really cool gift. Now, when I first went in to buy Lego, I was going to get that Mandalorian helmet, which was pricey enough as it is for what I wanted to do. We were going to get keychains for the kids that I talked about, or the young adults. They're not really kids anymore. So if you'd spent, let me see, if you spent $50 in Lego that was Star Wars, you got this. And if you spent $115 in Lego, you got this medallion. Plus you got this because you spent the $50. They give you each level. The third thing they had was a mini Death Star. You had to spend $200 Canadian in order to get that. It was beyond what I was willing to spend at the time. I know I probably could have and gotten it, but everything's expensive, and there's other things that I wanted to do, and I know that it's not all about me, so I can't just spend all the money on Lego. I have so many Lego sets right now, not to brag, yeah, it's not doing that, but I have Lego sets from before that I have yet to construct, so I shouldn't just build a whole inventory of unopened Lego. There are things that I wanted to do. I want to get the helmets before they get discontinued, the older ones, because every year they put out new ones. and after a certain amount of time, they discontinued the other ones. So I wanted to make sure I got that, especially the Mandalorian one, because it's an important one for the collection, for me anyways. So, a long video. We got postcards, we've got stamps, we've got Lego, and it's May the 4th. So I hope you guys, if you are Star Wars fans, you're going to do something to celebrate today. This is basically my celebration, is to acknowledge that it happened. I've sent out a few messages to some people that I think would appreciate Happy May the 4th message. I've got a Lego shirt on that is Star Wars related. It's not really a Lego shirt, it's just a Star Wars shirt. And yes, for those of you who have been asking, the exercise is still going well. So if I'm looking a little thinner, it's because I've already lost 12 pounds. Pretty happy about that milestone. I am shooting for 30. That is my goal. Whether I will reach it or not will depend on how I continue to remain motivated. I try to do between 10 and 15,000 steps a day. That was one of the things that I've added to my regimen. I'm averaging between 15 and 20, so I'm happy about that. I've cut down on the amount of sugar. I did do a little treats while I was away. I did have some puffs, which are kind of like little donuts that are covered in chocolate hazelnut sauce is what I cover them with anyways. You can get a whole bunch of different things at Puffs if you look it up. We did go to Beaver Tails the same day. I didn't do Beaver Tails because I'd had Puffs, so I made a conscious decision that I would do one or the other, but not both. And so I think it's going pretty well. I've cut down on the amount of pop or soda that I drink because that makes a difference. I've also cut down on the amount of bread that I consume. I usually do a bagel a day. That's what I have been doing. I think I'm going to try to slow that pace too, because I think that's still too much bread when I'm doing other things. So I'm trying to figure out a nice healthy balance. And for snacks, instead of all the chocolate and things that I was eating before and candy, I'm eating more fruit. I'm eating mixed nuts. Yeah, I think it's going well. I drink a lot more water to flush the system. So that's what I'm trying to do. I know everybody does things a little bit different. This is what's working for me right now. And I may have to up the game and add in some weights or use the rowing machine or something else to make a difference to get that last heavy weight that I want to get off, which is always the hardest, the last pounds. But where I think I'm almost at the halfway point of my goal, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I've been doing this routine since May 30th is when I started. So a little over a month, going well. That's why you may see me a little less sometimes on some of the other social media platforms, because I'm doing this and you got to balance family, balance work, balance YouTube, balance hobbies, balance everything else you got going on in your lives. So have yourself a magical week.
What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends?
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Bye.